Greetings and salutations, Earthlings. Welcome back to RJ Square Podcast. We are your hosts. Today, I am head, not shoulders, with my co-host.
Release the Epstein files, bitches.
We are here live, and one of us is live from Bogota. Right now, what's going on over there, brother?
It's just me, little Ray Ray in Bogota, Colombia, doing a little scouting, doing a little bit of real estate research, looking at apartments, also looking into some treatment, stem cell research, just checking out the stem cell laboratories that are down here, stem cell clinics, maybe in the future, maybe pursuing some stem cell treatments. So yeah, that's what I've been doing down here in Colombia.
Well, I'm going to ask the question that people really want to know. How are the whores in Colombia?
To be honest, I don't know because I've been so focused on the real estate and the stem cell thing. But I will tell you this, my friend. There is no shortage of women down here. And, if you speak the English language, you're doing that much better. So,
understandable.
So yeah, it's a great country. Obviously, I'm a little biased, being that my parents are from down here. But I love it. I love it. It's always been kind of like the motherland for me, and it's like being in the womb again. Love it.
Do you think it's 2 bonus points if you're unidas, usadas, and you also speak Spanish? Like double points.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It's definitely an advantage. You become a hot commodity at that point, right? Because you do kind of habla both languages. And if you can really, you command the English language and you can truly command the Latin or the Spanish language, and then it's easier, obviously, to communicate. And, it serves you well in the sense that there's less miscommunication and misunderstandings.
Right. Right. So nice.
100%. Yeah.
Nice. Now, we don't have Jamal today. Jamal is on vacation. He just came off the contract. We did the other podcast. Right now, he's on vacation. We're not going to say where because we don't want his fans to seek him out and knock on his door for autographs and things like that. He is with his family. Leave him alone, people. All 30 subscribers. Do not go find him.
Whoa. Get that shit right.
33?
Yes.
33 subscribers.
9,000 effing views. Thank you very much.
We are on the way, people. We are on the way. I don't know, man. So we came up here. We didn't have any plans. Raynell hit me up. Hey, man, I want to do the podcast. I got time. I had time. So we here. I think the biggest thing for me is saying, and I appreciate this podcast, man. Spending time with you guys doing the podcast, being able to interact back and forth. Some days, because, I'm in Savannah and I'm a solo artist per se. So some days I may go without having a real conversation with anyone when I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah. I can go a day or two without having an actual conversation with anyone. That's if I don't make calls. Like if I choose not to, it won't happen. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm a solo artist. When
you say solo artist, you mean a loner?
A loner, yes.
Yeah, you okay? Because you got to make sure the audience understands. They might think, "Oh shit, he's a jazz musician or some shit," right?
Definitely not that.
All right. So and I think loner has a lot of negative connotation, but I know what you're trying to say. You just mean there's a side of you that's your personality is very extroverted, but I think you're kind of like a dual personality, right? In the sense that you have an introverted side to you. Like I believe you appreciate your alone time. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't need others for some type of social validation.
Yeah.
I can be okay with myself. I can be okay with myself not seeing another person for a week, a month, a year and I'll be
Yeah.
fine. I've always been that way. Like, even
Mhm.
I remember when I first went to the military, I was what, 19, and knew no one, you know what I'm saying? And everything I did was solo until I met people. Then I would hang out every now and then, but really wasn't on their tip, because I was dating a chick and they would want to go place. And I'm like, bro, this chick gonna be mad. Like, let me just go home. So, and that's back in the day when, you really couldn't get in contact with people once you left your home or where you were staying. So, yeah, but I'm just simply a loner, man. Like, can I be around people? Yes. Am I extroverted? I would say I'm right in the middle. I'm not too extroverted. I'm not too extroverted. I'm not too introverted. I'm like right in the middle. But for certain things, I can be more towards extroverted for
Yeah.
some particular things.
So I think it's important. Like, it took me a minute to kind of figure out what that really meant, right? So extroverted means it. I like to use the energy kind of analogy, right? Like, for those of us that are extroverted, you get your energy from people, right? Or those that are extroverts, they get their energy from people. And we'll look up the actual definition. Ask Oxford to help us out. Whereas an introvert gets their energy or replenishes their batteries by themselves or in solitation or in a solitary state, right? So alone, and I consider myself a little bit more of an introvert. And a lot of people might, once upon a time, would probably have a hard time believing that. But I think as kids, I think we put up facades, right? And then once we get into our adulthood and really start figuring out who we are, is when we truly start, kind of discovering, who really is this guy named Raynell or Jermaine, right? And in my case, I know for a fact I'm definitely more introverted than extroverted.
Yeah, I mean, when you came out and said you were gay, I was like, oh shit, I never even. I'm kidding, people. Whoever's watching this, I'm kidding. I'm
No,
kidding.
actually, I have had women say that to me. So
I'm kidding. Hey, you still my dog. Even if you were, you would still be my dog. But he did not say that to me, people. But just to make sure, that was a joke. That was a joke. But yeah, extroverted, an outgoing, overtly expressive person. Psychology, a person predominantly concerned with external things or objective considerations. So that's an extrovert. That's from the Oxford Dictionary.
wait. Can you repeat that again, please?
Yeah, let me pull it back up. Hang on. Oh shit. Hang on, I just lost it. Actually,
Yeah,
we'll go with this AI overview.
there you go.
Extrovert in wait. Oh, sorry.
You're fine. Take your time. We got all night.
Extrovert. So extrovert, noun, an
Okay,
out
go
oh,
ahead.
an outgoing, overtly expressive person. Psychology, a person predominantly concerned with external things or objective considerations. Adjective extrovert, relating to, denoting, or typical of an extrovert. His extrovert personality made him the ideal host.
Yeah. So you know what? It really, I've always understood, it doesn't really have anything to do with replenishing your batteries. So here I'm reading the introverted, which is the opposite, right? The
Mhm.
introvert is a person with qualities of a personality type known as introversion, which means that they feel more comfortable focusing on their inner thoughts and ideas rather than what's happening externally. They enjoy spending time with just one or two people rather than large groups and crowds, which is absolutely spot on for me. And probably why I feel so comfortable in this podcast, right? It's just us. It's
Right,
just us. Whereas if this was a fucking multitude of people, 10 folks or more, it would be a little more uncomfortable, right? Can
right,
I do it? Could I do it? Yeah. but could I do it consistently? And I don't know that I could do it consistently, right?
And would you be as comfortable as you are with just
With
you, me,
just
and Jamal?
you and Jambone. That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You know, especially with the definition. So it's not saying that an introvert is bad or extrovert is bad. It's just one, the introvert really focuses on their ideas, their themselves before they actually give attention to the masses in the crowds. They don't have to put on a show. They don't need outside validation. They focus on their ideas, their thoughts, creations, things of that nature. Like I was a writer for so long, I still write every now and then. But when I would do that, and this is no lie, I would literally get off work and I would go home and I would start writing. And then the next thing I knew was like 3.5, 4 hours later. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. Yeah. I would just get lost in it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with introverts, nothing wrong with extroverts. It's just, and neither are saying neither is the party it said nothing about partying and things like that. It didn't say that an introvert was a recluse. They're just in the house all day. They just prefer a particular way to live.
So let me ask you this: if we hit the rewind button and we go back to 1994, and someone asked you, do you consider Raynell an introvert or an extrovert? What would you say?
More towards the extrovert part at that age.
Yeah,
but I think inside,
yes,
you were probably an introvert because
yes,
in sports, you weren't extroverted. You weren't extrovert. You weren't an extrovert. Right. But away from school, you were an extrovert, like party and things like that.
Yes,
you were that person. But in school, you were more of an introvert. It's like nobody knows me here, so I can be myself, be the extrovert. They know me here, so let me not carry myself a certain way, but you know what I'm saying? I know the lay of the land, so let me just move appropriately. Here, no one knows me. I'm just going to let it hang out. And it was like your release time, really, away from that time. It was like you do everything right in school and in sports. And then when you have your party time, it was like your release so that you can manage that time during the day in school.
Yeah. So I think this goes back to like what I was saying, right? I think as you're an adolescent, as you're growing, you kind of put up a little bit of a facade, right? In this this kind of like almost like alter ego, this almost like this personality that you want to present yourself as, but that's not really you, right? And that's the issue as a kid, as a child, as growing up. The other part to that, I don't know if you knew this, but I was very much I was not in tune or in touch, nor did I embrace my culture back then.
Oh, yeah.
And I regret that, Jermaine. I regret that with every bit of my being, every bit of my soul, because I hate that. And I think that's why I hit it so hard. Once I joined the Navy or whatnot, I went crazy. Like I became fucking Latino king. I was like dancing every weekend. I was trying to find the circles of the Latin circles wherever I was, whatever duty station I was at, whatever port we pulled into, I was looking for Latin circles because I was almost like overcompensating for that time that I missed as a kid and not really learning my culture.
I have a question. When you were growing up, did your mom and dad ever come down on you like, oh, you want to be like these American people, or won't you get more in touch with your culture, or you're Colombian, you're not white or black? Did they ever hit you with that?
My dad used to call me gringo. My dad.
But you can see why now that you got older. You can see why he used to do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I tell you what, man, my dad, God bless his soul and rest in peace, Pops. I love you so much. My dad was such a hardworking man and very humble in so many ways. But I tell you, he as much as he would call me gringo all the time, he loved this, he loved the United States because it is what it is. It's that American dream. And my father is the epitome of the American dream. Literally came over with a third grade education and raised a family, bought a home, ultimately retired, got his little Social Security check and came back to Colombia, the motherland, and lived like a king on his Social Security check. Unfortunately, he had health issues at the end, but the bottom line is, my dad got to live that American dream and literally came over with a third grade education and did that. Became a diamond placer, a jeweler, literally drove 2 hours every day down from West Palm Beach, Florida to Hollywood, Florida, every single day, worked his 8 hours, would come back home, have dinner with us in his wife's beater, and literally go back after dinner, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the evening, and go into his little home shop and continue working there until 10, 11 o'clock at night, repeat every single day.
Did your mom have a job back then, or just your father worked for the household?
Just my father. And literally at the time, I think he was making, which was a good chunk of change. I think he was making $60,000.
Oh, back then, yeah, that was pretty good.
That was good money back then, right? And then, times got rough. The jewelry business kind of went down for a little bit. And my mother had, went to work because, we were already a little bit more independent. So she didn't need to be at home that much. But to answer your question, did my parents, not so much my mother, right? My mother almost kind of guided us or preferred that we were more gringo than Colombian. She had this thing with Colombia. I think it had a lot to do with, at the time, the 80s, the 90s, Colombia was all about cocaine, right? That's all you knew. So she didn't want us to have anything to do with that. And so she was good with our course or path. And whereas my dad, he was always like, hey, this is your family. You have family in Colombia. And I was always like, whatever, until I got into my mid-20s, and that's when I was just like, you know what, man, life is too short. I need to know where I'm from, what my family's all about. And, how did my father grow up? How did my mother grow up? Right. Those things were really important to me. So I went back to the motherland and never stopped coming back.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess your home was more of a traditional home growing up into the latter stages of your adolescence. Then your mom started working also either part-time or full-time. But I take it, so your mom, like during your youth, like K1 through, let's say, the end of middle school, she was pretty much the home caretaker, cook, clean.
She was that until about, I would say, fifth grade, fourth grade. Yeah. Once I hit fourth grade, fifth grade, she went to work. My mother actually worked for the Ritz-Carlton Hotel first, when my memory serves me right. She was the uniform supervisor for the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, and then worked there for about, I would say, 10 years. Don't quote me. And then went to the Boca Raton Hotel and Resort, and that's where she finished her career.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask an honest question. Let me ask a question I want your honesty for. And I know this is a long time ago. What did your parents think of me, the black kid that would come over there? Honestly,
you got to remember, bro, I had a lot of black kids coming over to my house. You weren't the only one.
Well, that's true. That's true. That is true.
Stop acting like you're special. You ain't special.
You're right. You're right. I didn't even think of everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Think about it. Let's go ahead and go back. I mean, we got to make a list, right? Who was coming to my house? J-Dog, right? Who else? Mad Dog, because he came over a few times with him. Jam, Al. Of course, Al's I don't even know. Al's got green eyes, bro.
His eyes are green or super hazel?
Bro. Oh. They're green.
They just didn't know what he was. They were like, fuck it. He can come in. We don't. You know what I'm saying?
Who else? Jesse came over a few times. That motherfucker. Who else?
But did they have any distinction or any cultural differences the way they looked at the two, like black or white, or they're just Americans?
So I got to tell you, so I don't know if you know this, but my godfather is black
Right,
Colombian, African Colombian, right?
right.
My godfather is black, which is my dad's best friend, right? My uncle is black, and he married my aunt, obviously, and they had kids, and their kids are pretty much black,
No,
right?
I'm just trying to get more of like, because your parents came here later in life. You know what I'm saying? They were past their 20s when they finally made it to America. So how did they look at their kids growing up in America? Not just me, the token black guy, not just me, but just your friends outside of the household. Like, was it like, hey, we're happy you have friends, but be careful? Because remember, they're from Colombia. So did they give you a speech like, be careful out there? We're still from Colombia. We're not adjusted here yet, even though you might have been there for 10 or 14 years. Or was it more like just go and hang out and do what you want to do? Like, how was
So
it with?
so I think in the US, there's like, so because my family already, we come from Cali, right? Cali, Colombia, and I think Cali is very, very diverse. As a matter of fact, I would say it's like 50 to 60% black, right? So, and I'll have to go back and check out the whole demographics and all that good stuff to see what those numbers actually are. But it's very much influenced by African culture and that African Colombian. So the color of skin has never been an issue, nor like there isn't like a second take. When someone comes through our door, that's of a darker complexion, right? Where my mother, more so my mother, because I think my father was a little more oblivious to it, where my mother may have probably thought twice, is because she had some more interaction is with the folks that kind of grew up on the other side of the railroad tracks.
White
You know what
people?
I mean? No. Like
Oh,
on
real
the
ghetto?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because typically you use that term or that terminology to kind of say on the other side of the railroad tracks,
Right.
because it's a different life, right?
Yeah.
And so when because she had interaction with folks like that kind of grew up like that, were from a different class, if you will, then it was a little more maybe coming from my mother saying, hey, be careful, right?
Right.
Because she knew she was a little more privy and a little more understanding of, hey, there are differences, right? And you can't just say, hey, everybody's cool because of the color of their skin. No, they're not. Some people are white, black, or yellow, doesn't matter. You have to take those things into consideration, where
Yeah.
they're kind of, and it shouldn't just be, where you grew up. It's also, what was that household like? What were the values and the morals that were kind of instilled in you? And so she looked at those things. She definitely kind of paid attention to that stuff. Whereas my dad was a little more oblivious to it, didn't really pay much attention to it, just kind of, took the person for who they were or kind of presented themselves as. My mother was a little more, as a woman usually does, kind of uses their intuition a little bit more.
Right. Okay. Yeah, folks, we wanted to come on here and shoot the shit for a little bit. Interesting. Yeah, man, it seems like a lifetime ago, bro. A lifetime ago, those days riding around in the red Hornet or whatever you want to call it nowadays.
Nissan
Like,
Sentra.
yeah, bro. That was a good car. That car used to get you from here to there. Did that car ever break down?
No, never.
That was a good car.
And you know how much ass I got in that car, bro? Like, I'm
A
not even
lot.
a kid. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Look, because you had that car, I think, did you have it in 10th grade or you didn't get it to 11th grade? Or at the end
Whenever
of 10th grade?
whenever I turned 16, I think. Whenever I turned 16, I got it.
So at the end of 10th grade,
Yeah,
coming into 11th.
we were 14 as freshmen, 15. Yeah, so like, and I'm
But
an
you
older.
turned 16 while you're a sophomore.
Yep.
Then you turn 17 while you're a junior. You turn 18 while you're a
Yep.
senior.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So back in those days, if I know it's probably different now, a lot more kids probably drive to school. But back in those days, there was a select few kids that drove to school. Like I didn't even have a car, but I used to take my sister's car whenever I could. But when you drove to school back then, man, it was you were on a different playing field. And I'm pretty sure it's the same way now to a certain extent, but back then it was super, how can I say, beneficial to have a car and drive to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Like, definitely had a lot of after school activities.
Good times, man.
Yes,
Good
sir.
fucking times, bro.
Back then, we were young, dumb, and full of energy.
That is true. That is true, bro. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I did so much stupid shit back then. It's amazing I'm here. Not even gonna fucking lie. It's amazing I'm still alive, bro. Like, should be in jail or dead in some cases.
But I, you and I always talk about, or I kind of mentioned this to you on a few occasions, is, I've always, and you know this, I've always had so much love for you and affection for you as a friend and compadre. But I do believe God is good because, and I'm not even that religious, so higher being is good. But there for sure, Jay, you and I, there's no way in hell like they could put us together that early in life, because one of us would either be in jail or dead, because we just, neither one, somebody has to be either yin or yang, right? To be able to maintain a relationship or friendship or whatever. And you and I were a little too wild, and together, I think it would have been too crazy. And
Yeah.
I think it was best that I left, right? And we kind of, came back together later on in life, where we were a little more mature, a little more grounded, and understand that we're not Superman, right? So
I agree. Yeah, I definitely needed to leave. Because I didn't go into the military. I don't know if you went into the military right after high school, but I didn't go in until a year later in '96.
yeah,
So
June 10th, 1995, I left.
So you went in before me, but I graduated a year before you.
Yeah.
So I literally just walked the streets for a year, got kicked out of my house, went to stay with Al and Tough for them, came back, and then decided to join the military. But I'm going to tell you what changed my view on life. When I joined the military, I went various places, not only in this country, but outside of the country, even outside of fucking the continent. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, this shit's the same and different everywhere you fucking go, bro. Like when I went to Burlington, Washington, it was a white ghetto, and I never knew there was a white ghetto before. And there were white people there. It was a white ghetto in Burlington.
Oh, I think you mentioned that to me once. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was a white ghetto, and like white people had gold teeth and shit, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it just caught me off guard so much. And like the chicks there would, I don't want to say act black, but like
they act
stereotypical how people expect young black girls to act. That's how they were acting. And I was like, this is crazy, man. And then I went to Virginia, then San Diego, then like just everywhere, bro. Like everywhere. Like even when I was walking in Japan down the street, I was like, you could tell it wasn't that particular, not society, but that particular demographic or geographic area that I was in. You could tell they weren't from money. You know what I'm saying? They were living on top of each other. They were living in lofts. a whole bunch of clothes hanger with clothes and shoes on clotheslines. And yeah, it was different, man. People struggle everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I remember the Japanese girl I dated for like 2 days. Like she told me to her loft, and like it was just like a little studio with just her. And I was like, and she was young. She probably was. I can't even remember how old she probably was older than, but she couldn't have been 25, and I was probably like 20, 21. But
Yeah.
it was just so different, man. So different.
Yeah. I I've never, you mentioned Seattle. I've never been to Seattle ever.
Hmm.
That area of the country, I've never been to Portland, never been to Seattle, that Northwest. No, never. But I don't
Utah,
really
Colorado.
Utah, Colorado, yes. Utah, no. Have you been to Utah?
Yeah, well, I also drive trucks also. But yes, I've been to Utah.
Oh, no, I've never been.
I've
Never
pretty
been.
much been in every state. Not that I've been to every state visiting and like, oh, let me spend 2 weeks here, but I passed through probably every state in the US.
Um, I was going to say, what was I going to say? Yeah. So no, Seattle, Portland, Utah, never. Colorado, yes. Have you ever been to Alaska?
No.
Me neither.
So, okay, not every state, I guess. But yeah, not Alaska.
Mhm. Hawaii?
Not Hawaii. I guess Hawaii is a state also.
Yes, it is.
So those are probably the
You
only two states.
you've been in you've been in the continental 48.
Yes, including the territory of Puerto Rico, yes.
Yep. So
But
continental
not
48.
Hawaii and not Alaska.
But there's actually some states that I just haven't even been to yet. So I've got a ways to go. Shit, my glasses are
But you've
going.
probably been to, but see, you retired from a particular place. So you've been to way more countries than I have. Like, I can't even remember. It was so long ago. I can't even remember the names of the places I went to when we were doing our West Pack. I can't even remember the fucking names of places, bro.
Wow. Yeah, I've been to a few continents, that's for sure. Mm-hmm.
And we were supposed to go to more, but that's when I think it was 97 when with the U2 flight where we forbid um what was his name? The guy from why the fuck is Usain Bolt coming in my head? Not Osama bin Laden. What's the other dude? Not bin Laden.
Gaddafi,
No, Saddam
Saddam
Hussein.
Hussein,
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein.
Yeah. When we conducted the U2 flight when he forbid us for flying over his airspace. Do you remember that in like 97, the end of 97, 98? We were actually on the sea at the time in that area and we were put on alert
Oh wow, nice.
where he forbid us to fly over his airspace. And I was in top as an operations specialist. So, we talked to the pilots and, we write on the board also. Well, you've probably been in there.
Yeah, the combat center.
Yeah, and they call it the pit. But there's a board, a see-through board. So when we go through school, we have to learn how to write backwards so the people on the other side can see what we're writing. So when we talk to the pilot line, we'll write down their flight number, whatnot, what time they took off, what time they landed, things of that nature. And we would hear the conversation. Well, not all of the conversation, obviously, because we weren't privileged to the entirety of the conversation. But yeah, man, it was the Navy to me was exceptionally weird. Like,
Why do
because
you
I
say
really
that?
thought, what'd you say?
Why do you say that?
Because I thought it was
What,
going to be like the TV commercials. And I realized these are just a bunch of people from around the country. I literally thought it was going to be like the TV commercials, like everyone's gun ho, everyone's on the same side. Like, but when I got there, I realized majority of people there are super fucking young. Don't even know who they are. When I say super young, I'm speaking of like 18 to like 30. That's the majority of people that I met when I was in the Navy. Now you have older people, but it the majority was 18 through 30. Didn't really have any place to go. Didn't really know about the military. They just joined because they weren't going to college or they didn't have a job. It wasn't like most didn't come from a family or a background of military personnel. It was just a bunch of kids from various places around the country. You had people who was engaged. You had chicks who were prostitutes. Like it was just a bunch of different. I was in the Nimitz. Remember, the Nimitz was known at that time for like gang violence. I don't know if you know that, right?
Yeah, I do recall. Yeah, you guys had some issues. I do recall that.
But it wasn't that bad when I was there. But yeah, you had potheads, people who drank a lot. It was when I got there and I was like, I was talking to somebody. I was like, yeah, this chick's a prostitute. I was like, on the ship. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the fuck? And then when I saw, well, how did all this weed get here? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I
On
could
the
have stayed
ship,
home for this shit.
on the ship, you mean, or like
Yeah,
out?
on the ship.
Mhm.
On the ship. And not really when we were out to sea, but once we pull in port, bro, burn fest. Like, there was real people who smoked for real. I was like, how in the fuck are you in the military? You like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, until they pop positive.
Yeah, until then.
Yeah.
But back then they used to have these pills that use like these orange pills you used to take, and when you pee, it comes out like orange and red, and then like you have to drink like a gallon of water after you take the pill, and then you pee like 5 times after that. Your pee is just super clear. But
Would that shit work? I don't even know.
it would work, bro. I knew people that smoked like every day, and somehow they never popped on the piss test. It was crazy.
Yeah, they used to call it like the random. It was a random testing or whatever, but there was no random to it. That shit was fucking.
No, I just think they pick people. They used to call like the first
I think
initial, then the last four of your
yeah,
social or something.
that was full. They were full of shit. I think what they did was they would just get wind. Like the command master chief would like get wind of, hey, these people are partying over here, and
Yeah,
then just fucking pop their names on the list.
yeah.
So
Because we didn't have any um power to say, oh, let me see how you guys are picking them randomly. Like they'll look at you like, bro, go back and clean the toilet. Like get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It was some.
there's
I will say this: it was some good-looking women on my ship, but I can see how easily romantic relationships in number become over exaggerated for women in the military because there's so many dudes.
yeah, and so that's the thing, right? So the whole situation flips on its head when you're out to sea, right? Because the women become the hot commodity, right? Just by sheer numbers, right?
Mhm.
Because of the difference in male versus female, at least back then. Now there's more females on all units, right?
Yeah,
Even on submarines.
but we had a
But
lot of females on the Nimitz.
like if you had to give a ratio, what would you give the ratio on the Nimitz when you were on there?
I would say at least 60-40, which is a lot.
No. What?
60-40, maybe at the worst 70-30. It was a lot of women, bro. It was a lot of women.
Wow, shit.
I mean, in my
Yeah.
unit alone, if there was, let's say, 30 people in just the operate, not entire OI division, but operations for operation specialists, if there was, I'm gonna say 40, I'll make it even. If there was 40 people, I'm gonna say 25 was men and the other 15 were women. And that's a decent number. Well, you know what? Maybe 75-25. Maybe 75-25 is more accurate.
How many deployments did you make?
Only one.
Only one? Okay.
Yeah.
On that deployment, did you have any at sea romances?
Yeah.
Multitude of at sea romances, or should we even call them romances, or should we just call them
My son's mother. My son's mother.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Right on.
And before her, make sure I say before her, like there was other chicks, but that was just whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the first time I had like the first time I slept with an Asian girl was in Japan. She was a real Japanese girl who didn't speak English whatsoever. And somehow,
you
yeah,
guys understood each other.
exactly. You know what I'm saying?
It's the love
Exactly.
language.
Like I'm not gonna lie, like every time so for some reason, and the guys I used to stay with in my division, for some reason, anytime I would go out with them, I would get lucky. And it seemed like they would go home. But all of them was like taller than me. You know what I'm saying? Had more shit. Like a couple of them was like third class petty officers. I remember we went to San
Yeah,
Diego. Have you ever been?
if nobody's looking at your rank when you're out in town.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, I just carry myself a certain way. But
yeah.
You've been to San Diego, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a place called the Trophy Lounge?
Yes. On base.
Where they had like dollar drinks? Do you remember that? You remember all the chicks who used to be there? Like,
well, I didn't frequent it often, but yeah, I've heard it.
But it used to be a lot of women there, either in the military or looking for military men from that area. So the first time I went there, and we had a curfew because we were doing mock trials before we deployed. In what it wasn't called mock trials though. What was I can't even remember shit from the military. But this bartender came over and she said, "Oh, the young lady over there ordered you a drink, and she wants to know your name." And by then we were like 7 drinks in. I was like, "Tell her if she wants to know my name to come over here." You know what I'm saying? Like some weirdo shit. But she came over. She had like 4 friends, and it was like 5 or 6 of us. But I remember I was supposed to be back on the ship that night because you know they have curfew when you're doing trials because whatever. And no lie, bro, I was so drunk. I think I must have fucked that chick for like 3.5, 4 hours straight, bro. No fucking lie. No fucking lie.
Wait.
This is a true story right now.
Hold on, man.
I don't know how she was still standing.
I don't know. I think you're embellishing a little bit. I don't think it's physically possible to have sex for 3 hours. Dog, listen to what you're saying. Hold on. How do you go for 3 hours straight?
Huh? I was young.
Maybe 59 minutes.
Right now. We had to be back on the ship by either 12:30 or 1. When what's his name? Not Kenny. What's the name? Dawson. When Dawson pulled up to pick me up, it was 5:30 and we were still having sex. That means we were supposed to be back in at 1:30. We got the place between 1:30 and 2. When he pulled up, it was 5. That's 3 hours later, and we were having sex the whole time, bro.
Jeez.
The whole fucking time. And let me tell you how I know it was a long time. So we went back to Burlington, Washington, Puget Sound, and we came back a month later. A month later, I got in touch with the same girl. I didn't see her within a month's time because that's how I used to be in the military. Let her know I was coming back. When I went to her place, I knocked on the door, and a guy in my division answered the door. And I was like, "What the fuck? What are you doing here?" He was like, "You?" He was like, "Bro, this chick been talking about you the whole day, asking me, do I know this guy who looks like Mike Tyson, all this other stuff." Like, he was like, "This chick, no lie. He said she called you the black stallion that you could go forever." That's how I know it was a long time right now. That's the first thing he said to me. And his name, what was his name? JT Tyson? I can't remember. But that's the first thing he said when I came through the door. Like, "Bro, this chick been calling you the black stallion and you go forever and all this." Like, this bitch literally been sitting. They've been talking about you all. Was that?
A lot of our viewership and ladies out there are going to be reaching out to you now, right? Just to kind of get.
They don't want that pressure, bro. Look, chicks ain't trying to have sex for 3 hours straight, bro. They tapping out, bro. Look. Believe me. They may think they want that shit until it actually happens. Like, chicks are looking more like let her get two in, 3 at the most within a 30-minute to 40-minute time span. That's usually a chick's echelon of time, like a good time. Okay, I'm not sore, I'm not super tired,
So
but
you
3 hours?
actually, you intrigued me, and I'm actually curious now. And I looked it up. Right, the duration of sexual intercourse varies, and I looked it up, and I did a little AI research. But on average, men ejaculate between 3 and 7 minutes after penetration. Believe it or not,
Okay. And it takes
three.
women, obviously, it takes women longer to have an orgasm,
Mhm. Some.
but I would say majority, overwhelming majority. Now, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. It could just be the man not knowing her body or what to do. But
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of that can be attributed to, right? Like if it's the first time you're having
yeah,
sex, right? You're both kind of getting to know each other. So there's their nerves and stuff like that, etc. So yeah. But I have met women that definitely are beneath the 3 minute mark for sure.
yeah,
So
they're
yeah.
out there. They're definitely out there. But
Mhm.
you know what? Those women are, how can I say it? Most of those women have come to know what it takes for them to get to that point. They
No
don't
pun intended.
necessarily, it doesn't matter what man was there. You know what I'm saying? As long as he's
Yeah.
aesthetically sound, she's
Yeah.
going to get there. A lot of women
Exactly.
aren't like that, bro.
And that's the key, right? So she knows it's not so much about him. I know my body, right? The
Yep.
female, I'm speaking in generality here. She knows her body. She understands, hey, I just need to position myself this
Yep.
way, or maybe I need to slide this pillow underneath myself to make sure that the
Little
angle is right.
arch. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's a bad bitch right there. To me, that's a bad bitch, right? Because hey, she's going to get her. She knows.
I mean, she can either be a bad bitch or she could be a whore. She's one of them, though. But
What? What? Why? What is
I'm
wrong with
kidding.
a
I'm
woman?
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
There's
kidding.
nothing wrong, ladies. There's nothing
But
wrong with you knowing your body
there
and
isn't.
figuring that shit out and making sure that it's not about him. It's about you. So good for you. Anyways, go ahead, my man.
Ladies, don't take that bullshit advice, bro. ladies, don't take that advice. Know your body, but look, you don't got to sleep with 80 men to get to know your body.
Nope,
Just
nobody,
like,
nobody
no, I just want to
says.
put some context on it because
Yeah, nobody
nowadays
says
they'll be like, oh, I haven't found my body. I don't know my body yet. I've been with 55 guys. Let me
no.
have another 55.
No,
Like,
that's why there's toys. You don't need to go have sex with every other
no,
man.
no, 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 no. Ladies, do not use toys. Ladies,
Yes, use
no, no,
toys.
no. What? Raynell, I'm
Toys
going
are
off the
good.
science. Raynell, I'm going off the science behind it. When women use toys, they become um
Conditioned,
not conditioned. They become
desensitized.
desensitized to the act of sex, and it makes it harder for them to get aroused in our climax.
Well,
Ladies, I would suggest
you could say the same thing about a man in
yes,
masturbation.
if he beats his meat, yes, the same thing. So I'm not just saying about women, but you had said something about women. That's why I was speaking about it. Like, but yeah, ladies, don't use toys. Like, you're probably better off using your hand or fingers than an actual toy. So, and men, don't beat your meat because you become desensitized too.
You can beat your meat. There's nothing wrong with
I didn't. I didn't say you can't. I'm saying it's not the best thing for you. It's not rocket science. These are studies that have been made,
It's
scientific
all
studies.
relative. Everything in moderation. Period. Full
A
stop.
scientific study isn't relative. It's a fact. It's no longer relative. That's why it's a scientific study.
Well,
It's not like, yeah, I think she's hot, but Raynell doesn't. That's relative. A scientific study is a proven fact that you understand. A fact is a truth that can be proven through various sources. That's what
or
a fact is. So it's a
that
fact that men
science.
and women become desensitized the more they masturbate. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's why I say I'm not saying people aren't going to do it. I'm just saying, hey, keep that in mind, you know? All right, man, we're going to get off. We've been on here for 50 minutes, man. Look, this is the RJ Square podcast. Join the conversation. We're with my man, Ray. Released the Epstein files out of Bogota, Colombia. What's your
Please
last
release
word, sir?
this.
Where can they find you? Hit them.
They can find Young Release the Epstein Files at Raynell Saw _JR on Instagram. How about yourself?
They can find me at November Montgomery, all platforms that matter. Great talk today. We freeballed it, freestyled. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
He said free
freeballed.
balls. That's right, baby. Sometimes the
Yep.
best things happen just naturally, right?
Yep. But it was a good podcast, episode 24, I believe.
Episode 24. That's right.
And what did you name it? Because Renell does all the production, by the way.
That's right. Episode 24, Sunday, live from Bogota.
Live from Bogota. We appreciate your time. Join the conversation. Push the like button, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.